Assalamu alaikum. Today I will tell you how to derive the equation F is equals to Gm1 m2 upon r square. In order to derive this equation, we will take the help of Newton's law of gravitation. The Newton law of gravitation states that every body in this universe attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. So Newton's law of gravitation can be divided into two parts. The first part states that the force of attraction between the two bodies depends directly proportional to the product of their masses. And the second part can be taken as that the same force, that is the force of attraction between the two objects, depends inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. In order to derive the equation F is equals to Gm1m2 upon r square, we will discuss these two parts separately, part by part. The first diagram over here is representing that the force of attraction between these two bodies is represented by the capital letter F, and the masses of the two bodies are represented by m1 and m2. So this force, according to the first part of the Newton's law of gravitation, depends directly on the product of these two masses m1 and m2, which can be mathematically noted as F is proportional to m1 m2. So we can write the first part of Newton's law of gravitation in this way, that the force of attraction between the two objects depends directly on the product of mass 1 and mass 2. The second part of the Newton's law of gravitation states that this force depends inversely on the square of the distance between their centers. This is object 1, this is object 2, and the distance between their centers is represented by letter r. According to the second part of Newton's law of gravitation, the force of attraction depends inversely on this distance, which is the distance between their centers, and is being represented by letter r. So this can also be mathematically represented in this way, that F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their center. Since distance is r, so the square of the distance can be represented as r square. Now we have our equation number 1 with us, as F is directly proportional to m1 and m2, and the second equation is F is inversely proportional to r square. If we will combine these two equations, we can write them mathematically in this way, that F is proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. In order to convert this relation into an equation, I have to use equality over here instead of proportionality, and I have to introduce the constant. When we remove the proportionality, there is always a constant which is to be introduced over here as G, capital G. So we can write F is equals to G m1 m2 upon r square. So this equation is our required equation, which is stating that the force between these two can be calculated as the product of G m1 m2 upon r square. G over here is the gravitational constant, and its value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Thank you.